Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5 here at the Grand Prix of Motegi Circuit for the first road course qualifying of Season 5. We're here at round 2, waiting for cars to get going. As Louis Foster will be the first car to exit pit lane. Benjamin Peterson, Tinkle McStinkle out on track. Louis Foster, solid day at Michigan last time around, finished 11th, was unfortunately stuck laps down for most of the event, but did have some good pace, tried to unlap himself, just didn't quite work out, but he is going to be the first car on a flying lap, already a little bit impeded by the 37 of Miles Rowe. The first time we've ever been to the Motegi road course. Been to the Oval, which is where we go next race, but this is the first time we've hit the road course. Tinkle McStinkle, second on track. So as a reminder, you want to be in the top 6 to advance out of this group. This is the largest qualifying group we've ever had on a road course. 14 cars. As he now hits the hairpin onto the longest straightaway on the circuit. It's a downhill, fast, heavy braking zone. Probably going to be the prime overtaking opportunity. As his first pink sector has already been taken by someone else. As Lawless Allen is off the circuit. 1:22.9 is the first lap that everyone's trying to chase. Here comes the 53 of Tinkle McStinkle around the final turn. Finished last at Michigan, so only way to go is up. Gonna be in second. Now Benjamin Peterson goes to second. Dawa Tenzin gonna be coming around next. And Dawa Tenzin going to go fourth. For some reason our graphics are bugging out just a little bit. There we go. Connor Zilic going to go third. He seemed to have gotten a little bit impeded by his own teammate, Guy Gagné, in the number 90. As, oh, there goes Lawless Allen once again. That is the second time he's gone around in this session. Louis Foster will go faster, but did get a little bit impeded. This is a congestion right here. Miles Rowe, Devlin DeFrancesco, and Mahavir Raghunathan all right on top of each other. Raghunathan goes fourth. That's the best out of them as Shane Van Gisbergen. Most poles ever by one driver. He's going to set his speed in third. A fair bit away from his teammate of Louis Foster. Francesco Draconi, the rookie that won on his debut, goes fifth. Right now, that's going to be enough to advance, as Ethan Martz is going to go sixth. Currently, he's in, but Brendan Hubbard goes fourth, which immediately bumps the 76 out. Dawa Tenzin in the 94 goes faster, but stays 10th. Connor Zilic is on a fast lap, but it's only good enough for second. Guy Gagne will go fifth, as now that puts his teammate Brendan Hubbard on the cut line. Louis Foster, he's coming up next. Almost everyone has set at least one lap. Louis Foster, this lap is not going to be his best. Wallace Allen, the only one to have not set a lap. Let's see where he starts off with. Nearly an 8-second spread between first and last. That is quite remarkable. Rowe goes to 12th, DeFrancesco 13th. Raghunathan does not improve. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen. He looks quite quick. He will go to third, just a little bit behind Connor Zilic. Right now, Francesco Draconi below the cut line, looking to get in. He's trying to bump out the 99 of Brendan Hubbard, who he beat to the line. He's gonna go faster, but stays 7th. Ethan Martz in the 76. Does go faster, but it's not good enough to move out of 8th. Dawa Tenzin, he comes around, and that's going to move him up to 9th, but still below the cut line. Guy Gagne goes faster, he stays in 5th. Louis Foster currently out in front, as he's going to come into pit lane here. He got about 3 laps in. Lawless Allen all the way down in last. Has had multiple off tracks. As there is, if you look at the track map behind him, is a massive traffic jam. That's only hurting themselves. Allen does not go faster. DeFrancesco, Rowe, Raghunathan, the leaders of this group. None of them go faster. Draconi right below the cutoff. He has a pink in the first sector. Is that good enough? Needs to find about 3 tenths to get in. Coming out of the final turn. And that's enough. He's going to go to 5th, and that's going to bump out Brendan Hubbard, who's currently down in 7th. But he is right behind the 76 of Ethan Martz. Ethan Martz trying to bump in. No speed for either of them. They're both going to end up being below. Guy Gagne going to be the last one to get to the line. This lap not good enough to improve. He's currently on the cutoff. So checkered flag. Everyone on track is all that can bump in. And every single one of them besides Draconi is below the cutoff. Well, I guess Gagne as well. Lawless Allen, not enough fuel. He is going to qualify in last on his first ever road course. Disappointing qualifying effort for the rookie. Here comes Miles Rowe, Devlin DeFrancesco, and Mahavir Raghunathan. Rowe's going to stay out. These two trying to get to the line. There's no speed for either of them. Through the final turn. Francesco Draconi not going faster. And he's just going to have to hope that no one bumps him out, but there's just not enough cars out there. to bump him out. Guy Gagné going to be the final car to come across, but we already have those who advanced and those who didn't. So that is it. Louis Foster on top. A good effort for that number 10 team. And he's going to come out just ahead of the number 9 of Connor Zilic. And then in third is going to be Shane Van Gisbergen, just a little bit behind Connor Zilic. And then Benjamin Peterson and his teammate Francesco Draconi advanced. Draconi, very impressive in his first few showings. And then Guy Gagné will be the final car to advance. So eliminated. Starting in 13th will be Brennan Hubbard, just misses out by about half a second. Needed a little bit more pace. Ethan Mart's going to be starting 15th, coming off his controversial race at Michigan. Uh, in 17th will be the 94 of Dawa Tenzin at his best road course qualifying effort. And then in 19th will be the 54 of Mahavira Gunathan. Down in 21st is where you'll find the 53 of Tinkle McStinkle. And then 23rd is Miles Rowe. 25th will be Devlin DiFrancesco in his first road course qualifying since season 1. And then right next to him will be the number 92 of Lawless Allen, who starts down in 27th. That is round 1. Group 1 will be coming up in just a moment with round 1, Group B. Okay, lovely. The overlay is deciding to not work. Unfortunate, but these are the 13 drivers taking part in round 1, Group B. We got Justin Allgaier, Robbie Lohr, Nolan Siegel, Chet Jordan, last race pole winner, Marcus Armstrong, Dorian Pinn, Lindsey Brewer, Ryan Preece, Stingray Robb, Alessio Deletta, Nico Hulkenberg, Glubler Lohr, and David Malukas. So these are the other half. Nobody has left the pits just yet, as just as I say that, Justin Allgaier and Nolan Siegel are the first ones to leave. Allgaier's first road course qualifying and Nolan Siegel's first road course qualifying in a good while We'll actually take you on board for this lap. Oh man, and impeded on your very first lap, very first turn. Luckily there's time to kind of counter that. But man, a few of those turns you're just staring directly into the sun, especially on the second half of the circuit. Justin Allgaier had a good qualifying effort at Michigan. Started in row 2 alongside teammate Louis Foster, who was fastest in Group A. But the race did not go his way, involved in, I believe, 2 separate incidents, finished 20th. He did get a bonus point for fastest lap, so at least there is some sort of consolation prize. Now he goes through the hairpin and down the long straightaway. Nolan Siegel in the Viking racing car right behind also had to get around the 95 of Nico Hulkenberg, another one of your rookies. As out of the final turn, let's see where he goes. 124, 123 for Nolan Siegel. Nico Hulkenberg, we know, is on an outlap. Glubler Lore in new colors in a silver, white, and black car. No pink besides the number. That was his outlap, so no time set there. Here comes Ryan Preece, tied for most poles last season. He's going to be slowest out of the 3 so far. I think he may have been impeded by Stingray Rob. As Robbie Lore going to go 4th. Right now, pretty varied with what we've seen. Maluka's going to go 3rd. So that's pretty solid. He qualified deep in the field at Michigan and crashed out early, which was very unfortunate. We know he's a good super speedway driver. Just a shame how it went. Dorian Pinn now going to go 3rd, not far behind teammate Justin Allgaier. As Marcus Armstrong, your pole sitter at Michigan, going to go P2. Nolan Siegel still on top by a very wide margin, 8/10, as here comes Lindsay Brewer for her first lap. Not going to bump in. Justin Allgaier going to go to 2nd, and Nolan Siegel will go faster. Allgaier jumped up a lot higher, but pretty close up there. Right now the cutoff is Ryan Preece at a 125.0. Glubler not going to get there, and neither is Hulkenberg. Ryan Preece currently on the cutoff in P6. Let's see where he goes. He's going to go to the top. We know he's good at qualifying. Showing it once again. Malukas now on the cutoff as Robbie bumps in. Chet Jordan going to go to 4th. As now Marcus Armstrong on the cut. Stingray Rob. Lap does not count. He must have had an off. Alessio Deletta. Only to P10. Malukas goes faster, but not fast enough. Nolan Siegel, the only Viking racing car in this group. Viking Racing had 3 cars all in one group. Is Dorian Pin below the cutoff, trying to bump in. Let's see what she's got. Faster, but not fast enough. Marcus Armstrong on the cutoff. As he's going to go to the top by 4/10. Marcus Armstrong, we know, is fast. Proved it in testing, as Justin Allgaier are going to come into pits. He's 4th. Lindsey Brewer below the cutoff, currently running in 9th. Going to go faster, but stays in 9th. Globler Lore all the way at the back in P11. His teammate Stingray Rob doesn't even have a time yet. So Magenta Trees not looking as strong as they did at Michigan, but here comes Globler as he will only move up 1 spot. Nico Hulkenberg, no speed. So lap did not count. Here comes Robbie Lore, currently on the cutoff in 6th. As Chet Jordan right behind him. Neither car is going to go faster. Stingray Rob, no speed. As he will set a speed there, but it's only going to be P12. He finished 2nd at Michigan, lost in a heartbreaker. Deletta goes to 7th, but that is not enough. Malukas down in 9th. Dorian Pin well below the cutoff. And she's going to go into the pits, and I don't think there's enough time for her to go back out. So Dorian Pin might be knocked out in round 1. That is not what she wanted in her 2nd season with this team. Lindsey Brewer down in 10th. Banshees already have 2 cars confirmed to be advancing to the next round with Draconi and Peterson. Let's see if Lindsey Brewer has anything to say about it. Comes across the line, and it's better, but will only go up to 9th, still well below the cutoff. Globler down in 11th. Has to beat his brother Robbie on the cutoff, but he is 2 seconds off. Oh, drifts all the way through the final turn. Nice save for the 0-0, but that is going to scrub off a lot of speed, and that lap is not worth anything. As Nico Hulkenberg goes faster, but it's still in dead last. Stingray now down in 12th, qualified 10th at Michigan, but he is more of an oval driver, not much of a road course driver, as he will stay in 12th. Deletta just short of the cutoff by 4/10. Just needs a little bit more, and it's not there. As time has expired, Lindsey Brewer will be the first car to take the checkered. So coming to the line, needs to find about half a second, actually more, and it's just not going to be there. Lindsey Brewer will not advance. Globler, he's been out here for a while, so I'm surprised he hasn't come in yet, especially with that big slide on the last lap. Disappointing qualifying effort for the Magenta Trees, but he's going to go for one more and see if there's anything left in those soft tires, but he would need to find 2 seconds worth of pace, and it's not even close to being there. Marcus Armstrong, he's on an out lap. Stingray Rob has come in, and Alessio Deletta has come in. Nolan Siegel and Justin Allgaier, I believe, are on out laps, so that is your 6 that will advance. It's going to be led by the 33 of Marcus Armstrong. Looks good once again. He's going to have Ryan Preece right behind him, who's already stepped it up from his effort at Michigan. So, good job for that 64 team to rebound, especially after neither of his teammates advanced in Group A. And then Nolan Siegel, going to be the 3rd Viking car to advance to round 2, alongside the 14 of Justin Allgaier, advancing to round 2 in his first road course qualifying. Jet Jordan going to advance, and then Robbie Lore puts in a solid effort to advance into round 2. So then eliminated Alessio Deletta Gonna unfortunately be starting from 14th, just didn't have enough. 16th for Dorian Pin is a disappointing effort for that 43 team as the double zeros ran out of fuel. The 47 of Lindsey Brewer going to be starting down in 18th. 20th for David Malukas, which is another rough qualifying effort for a driver that we know has a lot of speed. 22nd for Glebler Lore, I think once again. Stingray Rob going to be starting 24th, and Nico Hulkenberg will unfortunately be 26th. So that is it for round one. In just a moment, we'll be getting going with round two. Back for round two here at qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix at the Motegi road course. These are the drivers that have advanced to round two. Shane Van Gisbergen, Connor Zilisch, Louis Foster, Justin Allgaier, Robbie Lord, Nolan Siegel, Chet Jordan, Benjamin Peterson, Marcus Armstrong, Francesco Draconi, Ryan Preece, and Guy Gagne. As let's ride around with Chet Jordan. The infield of the oval mostly flat, very little elevation change until you go outside the inner circle. This ain't Chet Jordan. Especially down this straightaway. You can just feel the car go down the hill. Shift into 7th. How gutsy do you take that final turn? For a rookie of a 49, nice to get out of the way. As Chet Jordan qualified second at Michigan, finished sixth. A solid opening effort from this 24 team. And I know that's a lot to be proud of team-wise, even though the result wasn't necessarily there. The pace definitely showed. But for Chet Jordan, you don't want to be outshone by your teammate. Beat Marcus Armstrong for a good amount of last season, but Armstrong, 3 poles, 0 poles for Chet Jordan. And then reminded once again at Michigan, Armstrong on pole, and then Chet Jordan had to settle for second. So here he comes through the final turn. 120.36, so definitely going to need some more pace, but that is not a bad start. So here comes Francesco Draconi, who's on an outlap, I assume. Good on him for getting out of the way of the 24. Louis Foster just ahead of the 9 of Connor Zilic. Swindlers of the Immortals and Viking Racing. Gonna be pretty tough rivals this season. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Armstrong gonna go to the top and beat Chet Jordan's time by a very wide margin. That's exactly what I was just talking about. Ryan Preece, we know he's good at qualifying on these road courses. As he is on an outlap, we're gonna have to see what he has later. As Nolan Siegel and Robbie Lohr battle for track position. Let's look at how bold the 18 was into that final turn. 18 aggressive Bs, no poles. Robbie Lohr has no poles. He has 1 win. Came at Sandown, second race of last season. So he is currently third, Siegel fourth, and now Peterson third. But they are off by a considerable amount. As Chet Jordan may have had to go through some crazy traffic. Yeah, he definitely hit some traffic. Shane Van Gisbergen right behind and Guy Gagné behind him. So a lot of impeding going on. No cut line has been established just yet, but Justin Allgaier about to change it. And now Robbie's on the cutoff. Draconi not fast enough. He's going to go 7th. Here comes Louis Foster and Connor Zilic. Foster goes 4th. Zilic goes 3rd. That's going to put Nolan Siegel on the cutoff. Marcus Armstrong not going to go as fast this time, but he stays P1 with his teammate in 2nd, but behind by a considerable amount. Ryan Preece time to beat 126.6. That's a 125.2. That's going to get it done. Peterson now on the cutoff with a 25.5. Robbie Lohr staying ahead of Siegel and Peterson. Here comes Robbie through the final turn and on to the front stretch. 26.2, not quite good enough. Neither for Siegel. Peterson does not go better, but he is still on the cutoff. Gagné and Van Gisbergen, no time yet. But Van Gisbergen going to go 2nd, and that's going to bump Peterson out. Preece now on the cutoff with a 25.2. Gagné not close enough. He's going to be 11th. As here comes Justin Allgaier out of the final turn. And he's going to go to 5th. That's going to bump out Ryan Preece and put Louis Foster on the cutoff. Draconi just not enough speed. Louis Foster, his lap did not count. Connor Zilic still in 4th. Ryan Preece just got bumped out, but he's going to need to find about half a second if he wants to advance. Is it good enough? Yes, it is. He's going to go to 4th, and that's going to bump out Louis Foster. So Foster out, Priest in, Allgaier on the cutoff with a 24.662 in by only 8 thousandths over teammate Louis Foster. Allgaier and Foster started on the second row together, as this 18 is really holding up this 19 and 29. Can any of these guys try to bump in? No, just not enough speed from any of them. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen, still behind by 7 tenths behind Marcus Armstrong. What a performance from that 33. Guy Gagné, he's going to shoot up to 8th, but not quite close enough. He still needs about half a second. Justin Allgaier, he's going to go better, and that's going to put Connor Zilic on the cutoff with a 24.25. Zilic, who looked in third earlier, is now on the cutoff, and Louis Foster is getting held up. That is crucial. That may not give him a chance to rebound as Ryan Priest comes into pit lane. We know his 64 is good at qualifying, and it shows one. Look at the 18, dirt tracking. Where is this? This is going into the hairpin. Yes, it is. Nolan Siegel, he's going to try to get by here. Maybe get a lap of just a little bit of clean air, unless he's willing to do one more. As no, he's actually going to come into the pits. I don't think Robbie's going to have the pace after nearly spinning out. He and Glubler are both trying to go long. About 30 seconds left. Marcus Armstrong, he's on an out lap, but he's going to get one more lap. I think he's pretty safe. Gagne comes to the line. Allgaier, he's going to go even better, and that's going to get him away from the cutoff. He's in 4th now. Louis Foster still struggling to get by the 49 of Draconi, who is going to come in this time, and Foster's going to come in too. So Allgaier, I think, is the last car to get to the line, basically. As there goes the 18, he is off. And now it's a 33 just trying to show some muscle. But I think Connor Zilic is safe, because it's Armstrong. And Gagne could try to get in. And Allgaier has ran out of fuel, so he's done. So I believe Zilic's only threat is his teammate, because I think Chet Jordan's on an outlap, so his lap won't matter. See what the 33 has this time. Is it better than his previous best? Not quite, but it's quite close. And that is still leaps and bounds ahead of what anyone else has done. Guy Gagné, let's see what he has this time. Oh, that was not a very good lap. And I believe everyone has either stalled out or has completed their run. So the cars advancing into the first Fast Six of the season. Marcus Armstrong on top, showing some muscle with Shane Van Gisbergen. I wouldn't say right behind, pretty far behind. He's got some work to do. Chet Jordan going to join his teammate. Justin Allgaier is going to make his first Fast Six. And then Ryan Priest and Connor Zilic, two good road course qualifiers last season, showing their worth once again, but eliminated. Going to be starting from 7th is the 10 of Louis Foster, just couldn't get it done in the end, but is better than where he was at the end of last season. Guy Gagné going to be on his outside, starting 8th. Benjamin Peterson will be 9th. 10th is going to be the 18 of Robbie Lohr, pretty consistent so far with his qualifying. Nolan Siegel's first road course qualifying effort for Viking Racing, a frustrating one. He'll be in 11th. Then Francesco Draconi, His first road course qualifying will end with him in 12th. So those are the results from round 2. We'll be back in just a moment for your Fast 6. Welcome to the first Fast 6 of the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5. These are your 6 going for pole: Shane Van Gisbergen, Connor Zilisch, Justin Allgaier, Chet Jordan, Marcus Armstrong, and Ryan Preece. All of them have poles besides the rookie Justin Allgaier, making his first Fast 6 appearance. As we wait to see who's going to get this pole. Chet Jordan, the first car to go out. Let's watch from above. Whoa, Chet Jordan, a little bit of oversteer in the first 2 turns. That's definitely going to cost him some time. Only 8 minutes on the clock in the Fast 6. So maybe only about 3 laps. and that may cost one of them, and might have hurt the tires. So in this Fast 6, we have 3 Mercedes, 2 Hondas, and 1 Toyota. No Fords making an appearance in the Fast 6. The best qualified Ford starts 10th with Robbie Lohr. So Chet Jordan pretty far behind his teammate Marcus Armstrong in that last round. Let's see if he has anything to try to combat him for pole. Coming out of the final turn, let's see what it is. 123.7. Armstrong's best lap last time was a 122.3. So a lot of work needed to be done. Here comes Connor Zilic. This is not his first lap. He is beginning his first lap. Shane Van Gisbergen. Where is he on the circuit? He is in the hairpin. Shane Van Gisbergen. Most poles in series history. Could it be yet another added to the pile today? As he hunts for championship number 3 now. Qualified 6th at Michigan, finished 9th, kept it clean, stayed out of major trouble. So let's see what he has. Marcus Armstrong and Justin Allgaier right on top of each other here. Could this be swindlers trying to deploy Marcus Armstrong to get in the way? Or sorry, Justin Allgaier to get in the way of Marcus Armstrong. Armstrong's first lap not as quick. Currently Chet Jordan on pole. Here comes Ryan Preece to the line for his first lap. As Chet Jordan, let's see if he goes better. No, he doesn't. 123.7 is still his best. Connor Zilic on his first green flag lap. Does he have anything for pole in that new era number 9 for Viking Racing? Not quite. Pretty far off. He's currently down in 3rd, 2 seconds off. See what the number 1 of Shane Van Gisbergen has. Into the chicane before the front stretch. Very smooth. So here he comes to the line. 123.69. That is good enough for pole right now. 2 minutes left on the clock, but Marcus Armstrong, he has gotten away from the 14 by a huge amount. So this could be a very good lap. Let's see what he has. 124.0. It's better, but not good enough. As Chet Jordan has to get by Ryan Preece. Preece may have had an off or something. As Chet Jordan's going to come into pit lane, he does not have another lap. Ryan Preece, 131.7, so he had an issue. So right now he is currently qualified in 6th. Here comes Connor Zilic, lap 3. Kicked up a little bit of grass. It's better, but still only 4th. Just not enough speed being carried. 1 minute remains. Shane Van Gisbergen currently has pole by about 9/100ths of a second over Chet Jordan. Can he go better here? It's gonna be super close. Or it won't. 122.1. That is by far the best one that we've seen. As Marcus Armstrong comes into the pits, he doesn't have anything to fight. Justin Allgaier, does he have anything to go for his first pole? He's going to come to the line. 125.1, that is going to beat Connor Zilic, so he's going to be in row 2 once again if this holds. Ryan Preece well off the pace. He is going to complete this lap. See if it's any good. As that is still very far behind. He may have broken his car. But Ryan Preece first one to take the checkered flag. Connor Zilic is in the pits. He doesn't have anything. It's only Shane Van Gisbergen and Justin Allgaier left at this point, as Shane Van Gisbergen 1.6 seconds on the field. Is that not a statement? As we have to be careful of this guy once again. 6 wins. I don't even know how many poles he has. I know it's probably around 11 or 12. Actually, no, if I do my mental math, I think he has about 15. Because I think he has 8 from season 1, 1 from season 2, then 6 from last season. So this is pole 16. The number 1 of Shane Van Gisbergen. What an effort. A very strong showing from the number 1. So your provisional starting grid, row 1, it's going to be the number 1 of Shane Van Gisbergen once again. And on his outside, going to be the 24 of Chet Jordan starting second, 2 races in a row. Row 2 is where we're going to have the 33 of Marcus Armstrong, and right along him, row 2 once again for Justin Allgaier. So far looking very solid in his qualifying efforts. Row 3 is going to be the number 9 of Connor Zilic, and on his outside going to be the 64 of Ryan Preece. And then as we go back to row 4, it's going to be the number 10 of Louis Foster alongside the number 90 of Guy Gagne. Row 5 is going to be the 29 of Benjamin Peterson, and then your highest qualifying Ford car, the number 18 of Robbie Lohr. And then back in row 6 is going to be the 19 of Nolan Siegel and the 49 of Francesco Draconi. Row 7 is going to be the 99 of Brendan Hubbard, going to be right behind his teammate. And then he's going to have Alessio Deletta on his outside. And then row 8 is going to be Ethan Martz. And then a surprisingly disappointing qualifying effort by the 43 of Dorian Pinn, going to be starting deep in the field. Row 9 is going to be Dawa Tenzin in his best road course qualifying effort. In the 47 of Lindsey Brewer, who's going to be a little bit disappointed after that one. And on row 10, it's going to be the 54 of Mahavir Raghunathan and the 04 of David Malukas. Row 11 is going to be Tinkle McStinkle in his first road course race in quite a long time. And on his outside is going to be the 00 of Global Lore. As we go back to row 12, it is going to be the 37 of Miles Rowe and the 77 of Stingray Rob. And then row 13 will be the 75 of Devlin DiFrancesco. Disappointing qualifying effort for that team. Number 95 of Nico Hulkenberg. And rounding out the field in row 14, it's going to be the 92 of Lawless Allen for his first road course race. So that is it for qualifying here at Motegi. The race will be tomorrow, hopefully around 3 o'clock. 80 laps. Actually, no, that is definitely not the count. That is for the road course. 30 laps, which is a lot more reasonable. Shane Van Gisbergen looks like it's going to be him as the car to beat once again. and we're gonna have to see who can challenge him. He's got two Silly Men racing cars right behind him. Gonna be tough to beat. But I will see you tomorrow.